They say New York never sleeps. But the night I started the war, the city went silent. My name's Nikolai Orlov, born in Brighton Beach, the part of Brooklyn they call Little Odessa. My father used to smuggle watches. I smuggled information. In my world, words could kill faster than bullets. I never meant to go against the Italians. I respected them, their code, their style, their silence. But respect doesn't pay the bills. And in this city, loyalty is just another word for control. It all started with a deal gone wrong. I was sitting inside the Mariners Club, a high-end bar by the Hudson, glass walls, blue lights, quiet jazz. I had a drink in front of me, untouched, because I wasn't there to relax. I was there to trade something worth millions, a list of secret shipments moving through the docks. They belonged to Don Ricci, the old Italian boss who ran Manhattan like it was his personal chessboard. The buyer? A man named Viktor Malenko, the new face of the Russian mob, young, fearless, and stupid enough to believe he could outsmart everyone. He walked in late, wearing a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "You look nervous, Kolya," he said. "I'm not nervous," I told him. "Just making sure I leave alive." He laughed. "If I wanted you dead, I'd have done it before dessert." The deal was simple. I give him Ricci's shipment data, he gives me $2 million and a way out. But when you play with fire, someone always gets burned. 2 hours later, Ricci's men raided Victor's warehouse. Someone talked, and everyone thought it was me. The Italians wanted revenge, the Russians wanted proof, and I wanted out. But in this business, there's no exit door. There's only one rule. You can't leave the game unless you're in a box. So I ran, changed my number, disappeared from Brighton Beach. For 3 weeks, I hid in a hotel near Queens. Cheap walls, flickering lights, room that smelled like regret. Every night I'd hear sirens and wonder if they were coming for me. Then one night, someone knocked on my door. 3 knocks, slow, deliberate. I grabbed my gun, opened the door halfway, and there she was, Isabella Ricci, Don Ricci's daughter. The one girl in New York I should have never trusted. She was standing there in a black coat, rain dripping off her hair, eyes like fire. "You're hard to find, Nikolai. You shouldn't be here. Neither should you." She stepped in, shut the door behind her, and pulled a flash drive from her pocket. "You started something you can't stop," she said. "The Russians think you sold them out. My father thinks you betrayed him. But both sides are wrong." I looked at her, confused. Then who did it? Someone higher, someone in both families. She slid the flash drive across the table. Proof. Names, deals, payments. There's a third player in this war, and he's using you as bait. I stared at the drive, my hand shaking. "Why are you helping me?" She smiled faintly. "Because I hate being part of my father's empire, and because you once saved my life." The rain outside grew heavier. My chest tightened. I didn't know if I could trust her, but I knew if I didn't, I'd be dead by morning. I plugged in the drive. A list popped up. Dozens of transactions, encrypted codes, account numbers. But one name stood out. Viktor Malenko, payment to Antonio Ricci's offshore account. My stomach dropped. Viktor, paying Don Ricci? The Russians and Italians weren't enemies. They were partners, and I was the distraction. That's when it hit me. I didn't start the war. I was the reason for it. A pawn in their game. I stood up, paced the room, the weight of betrayal sinking in. "They played me," I whispered. Isabella nodded. "And now they'll kill you both. Viktor for insurance, my father for silence." She moved closer. "You have one option. Disappear. Or fight back." I looked into her eyes, searching for truth, but all I saw was fear. "If I fight back, I'll need someone inside," I said. "Then you're looking at her." For a moment, the world went quiet. Just the hum of the air conditioner, the echo of rain, the sound of 2 people about to change everything. That night, we made a deal. She'd feed me intel from the Italians. I'd find out what the Russians were hiding. Together, we'd burn both sides and expose whoever started it. But as she left, I noticed something strange, a small red mark on her wrist. a mark I'd seen before. The same mark the Russians used for their internal agents, spies trained to infiltrate other families. Was she lying? Was she working for Victor all along? I wanted to follow her, but by the time I reached the window, her car was gone, taillights fading into the storm. I sat back down, stared at the flash drive, and realized I had two enemies, and maybe a third wearing perfume. By dawn, I had made my choice. I wasn't running anymore. If they wanted a war, I'd give them one. Not just between the Italians and the Russians, but against whoever thought they could use me as their pawn. And as I loaded my gun, I said it out loud, like a promise to myself. No more hiding, no more loyalty. From now on, I play for me. The city was still dark when I walked out, but in my head the war had already begun. By sunrise, New York looked calm again, like the city had buried its secrets overnight. But I knew better. The real war doesn't happen in the streets. It happens in silence, in meetings, in whispers, in who calls who first. He left Queens before dawn, no suitcase, just a gun, a flash drive, and a face that had already been forgotten. I knew where to start. Victor Malenko's penthouse on the Upper East Side. To the world, Victor was a clean businessman. Real estate, imports, charity dinners. But in my phone, I still had recordings of his orders. Quiet, cold commands that sent men to their graves. The elevator ride up felt endless. My reflection in the chrome doors looked like a stranger. Same eyes, less soul. When I reached his door, two of his guards were already waiting. "Kolya," one said, surprised. "You're supposed to be dead?" I cut him off. "Yeah, I get that a lot." They looked at each other for a second too long, and in that second I pulled my gun. 2 shots. Clean. By the time they hit the floor, I was already inside. Victor was standing near the window wearing a silk robe, smoking like he had no enemies. He didn't flinch when he saw me. "I heard you ran away," he said calmly. "I did. But running gets boring." He smiled, poured himself a drink. "So, Kolya, you came to kill me or thank me?" "That depends," I said, aiming the gun. "Why did you pay Ricci?" He laughed, slow and deep. You found the transfers." "Smart boy. Answer me." "Because, my friend, sometimes it's cheaper to share the throne than to die fighting for it." He turned toward me, eyes like ice. "The Italians needed distribution. We needed protection. The war? It was just a story we sold to keep everyone loyal. While they bled each other, we built the empire." I felt my pulse hammering. "So I was the distraction." "Of course. You were perfect. Half insider, half ghost. No family to protect, no one to trust. The Americans love a scapegoat." He sipped his drink like it was nothing. "I should have pulled the trigger. But instead I asked, 'Then why kill me?'" He shrugged. "Because you started to ask questions. And questions ruin business." He took one last drag, dropped the cigar, and smirked. "You won't shoot me, Kolya. You never had the stomach for it." I almost didn't. Almost. But when I thought of the nights hiding in that hotel, the faces of the men who died because of me, the look in Isabella's eyes, I pulled the trigger. 1 shot. Straight through the chest. Victor fell back, glass shattering, smoke mixing with blood. He looked up at me, almost smiling. "You think this ends it?" He gasped. "No," I said quietly. "This starts it." I grabbed his phone and the documents on his desk. Invoices, fake passports, coded messages. Every piece led back to someone named M. Russo. I didn't know who Russo was. Italian, probably. But the way Victor kept his name hidden meant he wasn't just another capo. He was the one pulling the strings. I left before the sirens came, took the subway to Brooklyn, and hid out in an abandoned restaurant by Coney Island, a place my father once owned before the Russians took it from him. The irony stung. For 2 days I stayed off the grid. Then Isabella called. Her voice was shaky. "Nikolai, they know you killed Victor." "Who told them?" "Everyone. The Italians think you're moving against them. My father put a bounty on you. Then it's time I met your father." She went silent. "You'll die if you go there. Then I'll die telling the truth." That night I walked straight into Don Ricci's mansion in Staten Island. Marble floors, gold walls, too much perfume in the air. His men searched me twice, found nothing. I'd hidden the flash drive in my boot. Ricci sat at a long table, calm, confident, the kind of man who believed the world owed him respect. "You got nerve walking in here, boy," he said. "You got lies in your house," I replied. He grinned. You killed Victor. Why shouldn't I kill you? Because he was paying you. The room went quiet. His men tensed. Ricci's face didn't move, but his eyes flickered. You think I'd take Russian money? I don't think. I know. I slid the flash drive across the table. He stared at it for a moment, then nodded to one of his men. They plugged it into a laptop. The files loaded. Victor's payments, offshore accounts, coded transfers. Ricci's jaw tightened. That bastard, he muttered. Then he looked at me. So what do you want? The truth. Who's Emma Russo? He exhaled, leaned back. You really don't know, do you? Know what? He smiled. Slow, bitter, dangerous. Monsieur Russo isn't a man. It's a code name. It stands for Maria Russo, Victor's investor, his partner in the U.S. And her real name is Isabella Ricci. My blood went cold. You're lying, I said. No, boy, she's my daughter. But she used her mother's maiden name when she started her own operation. You think she brought you that flash drive to help you? She was cleaning house. I stumbled back, my chest burning. Everything, the visit, the proof, the warning, was a setup. She wasn't saving me. She was framing me for Victor's murder. Ricci stood up, reached for his cigar. She wanted control. She used you to finish the Russians, then she'll take my throne next. That's my daughter. Smarter than me, colder than you. Before I could speak, the lights cut out. Gunfire erupted. Ricci's men fell like dominoes. I hit the floor, grabbed a weapon, crawled behind the table. Through the chaos, I saw her, Isabella, walking in with a silencer in her hand, calm as ice. She looked right at me. You always wanted to know who started the war, she said softly. Now you do. Why me? I shouted. Because you were the only one who could kill Victor. And you did. She raised the gun, pointed it at her father. You taught me loyalty, Papa, but you never practiced it. 2 shots. Ricci fell. She turned back to me, gun still warm. You should thank me. I just made you the last survivor. You used me. No, she said, walking closer. I gave you purpose. Her eyes softened. For just a second. Come with me, Nikolai. We can finish what they started. No families, no rules. Just us. The smell of smoke filled the room. My ears rang from the gunfire. And for a moment I almost believed her. Almost. Then I saw Ricci's lighter still burning on the floor, gasoline spilling from a shattered bottle. I picked it up. You forgot something, Isabella. What? She asked. In every war, someone has to lose. I dropped the lighter. The mansion went up in flames. I don't remember how I got out. Just smoke, heat, and her voice screaming behind me. When I woke up, the sun was rising over the Hudson. My hands were burned, my body wrecked, but I was alive. They said the Ricci Empire burned that night. The Russians vanished. But some nights when the wind blows from Staten Island, I swear I still smell smoke and her perfume, and that's when I remember. The war never really ended. It just went underground, and I'm still in it.